Well, the Buddha's teachings is for one to respect oneself and respect others. And when you begin with respect, then you can move on to kindness and compassion. If you don't have a sense of respecting yourself, which means actually seeing one's worthy qualities, then it's very difficult to like yourself. And if we are going to like others, we all have to begin by respecting them. That is, seeing their worth as a friend, as a human being, as a companion in life. And then we can talk about kindness, compassion, love, friendship, all those other qualities. So Buddhist teachings is trying to get people to focus on what's noble and good and think in a positive and kind way towards themselves and towards other beings. Because firstly we have to reflect and think, what do I want out of life? And I myself and all of you want to be happy. That's a kind of fundamental quality of human beings and even animals. Animals don't want to be hurt, they don't want to experience pain, and human beings are the same. And we don't want that, and and neither does anyone else. So the first thing is when we realize that people don't want unhappiness and they want happiness, then we should rise up and give that, firstly to ourselves, be it by thinking kind thoughts to oneself, then thinking kind thoughts about other people, saying kind things about oneself, and saying kind things about other people, doing kind acts which are beneficial to oneself, don't hurt oneself, and the same to other people, doing things that are beneficial to them, kind to them, and don't cause any hurt or harm. And that's an essential human quality which is found throughout the world in all religions. It's not Buddhist, it's truth. And that's what Dhamma means. What is true in the world for everybody. And that is a fundamental truth, that people want to be happy and avoid unhappiness and avoid pain. Well, the 10 Barometers is a teaching in the Buddha's teachings which is about the qualities for development which leads to spiritual growth and to make one more mature as a human being. Because somebody can be, say, a very intelligent human being, but not be a very mature human being, so not be very grown up. So someone can be smart, but foolish, sharp and intelligent, can answer all the questions in the books, but not be very wise to lead a skillful life. And so the emotional maturity to grow up as a human being is what we find in the 10 Barometers. These are the 10 spiritual qualities which lead to maturity, to lead to development as a human being. And those material qualities are, for example, in those 10, there's virtue, being a virtuous person. Some people are intelligent, but they're not virtuous. That is, they don't have sila. Some people, for example, are intelligent, but they're not very generous. They don't have dana barometer. So we have the generosity. It shows an act is someone who is very kind, considerate, shares things with others. That's an intelligent, mature person. That's a grown-up person. Someone who only thinks of themselves is a very selfish person and not very mature. So you've got generosity, and then you've got also other qualities. I'm not doing it in order, but you've got, say, truthfulness, satya, which is somebody who is truthful and honest. If they say they're going to do something, they do it. They say they're not going to do it, they don't do it. They always tell the truth. somebody has determination, adhitthana. They think they're going to do something, they decide to do it, then they follow it through to the end. Some people are very good at starting things and never finish them. They start a book, they don't finish it. They start studying, they never finish that course because they haven't got that determination. Then the Nekkhamma Barometer is the ability to give up things, go without. For example, some people, they have to have a lot of things before they're happy. Some people can say, I don't need all those things, I can still be happy. I don't need the most or the best or everything to be happy. I can be happy with little, or going, even sharing things. So by giving things away to somebody else, that makes you happy. That's what we call the Nekkhamma Barometer. The quality which one is actually giving up or abandoning. Then there's the barometer of energy, someone who is energetic, somebody who is not lazy, somebody who puts you through forth effort, physical and mental energy to get ahead and do well in life, to grow and mature. Then there's the adhitthana of patient endurance, having patience and endurance to go through difficulties, because no one likes difficulties in life. For example, when we're not well, we've got a headache or sick, then to be patient to wait for that to change. Or when we want to eat something now, we're hungry now, but to be patient enough to be able to wait till when it's cooked and when it's ready, or when it's time for us to eat. So, those patience qualities, be patient, that's a very important one. Another important quality of the barometers is equanimity, is to be balanced in sort of, when one's getting what one wants, then one doesn't get too excited. One doesn't get what one wants. One doesn't get too upset, depressed. Being very even in temperament. And then wisdom barometer. That's actually a very important barometer to be wise and skillful, to do things which are going to bring you happiness and bring others happiness. That's not going to bring you pain and suffering, and not bring other people pain and suffering. So those barometers are very, very important. I'm not sure if I covered all 10. I think I've got most of them. Metta, loving kindness, is the 10th of those barometers, which we'll go on to speak to about now. Metta is one of the barometers which is very, very important, because it is the quality of not getting upset and dwelling in anger, frustration, negativity, fault-finding, sense of frustration of not getting what you want. It's the opposite. It's a sense of goodwill, positive thinking, kindness, friendship, warmth, a sense of wanting to bring happiness to yourself and to others. So, for example, somebody who is kind thinks good thoughts about themselves. May I be happy and may I be well. May other beings be happy. May other beings be well. Whereas a negative person says, I'm not a good person, I'm hopeless, it's a waste of time, I'm depressed, I'm negative, life is very bad and everything's going wrong, miserable, and I hate everybody, and they shouldn't exist in the world, and I want to get rid of everybody, they're not doing what I want, and that's the fault-finding mind. It's the very opposite to the mind of friendship, kindness, and care and love. And the Buddha compared it to we all have mothers who have been very kind in taking care of us, just as a mother would protect and even give up her life to look after us. So too, if we have kindness to others, then they'll be kind back to us. That's a very interesting thing. If we want to have friends and for other people to be friendly to us, we have to learn how to be friends and friendly to others. If we're not friendly to others, they won't be friends with us. It doesn't work that way. It works, what you give, you get back. Cause and effect, well, that's getting into a big area of the Buddha's teachings, and the Buddha said that everything is causally related. So nothing happens out of emptiness. Nothing happens without a primal cause. And the cause for certain things is arising because we have created a cause in the past. So this effect is arising because of a cause in the past. So when we know that we can change our lives by changing the effect right now, what effect am I having on everybody? So when we get back to the concept of kindness, if I think, okay, I will say a kind word and then watch the effect it has on others. And what is the general effect? It's usually if you say kind things to others that, oh, how are you today? I really care for your well-being. You know, have you had enough to eat? Are you looked after? Then it brings up warmth and friendship back, reciprocates. But if I say a very harsh and cruel word and criticize somebody or negative to somebody, then that also has an effect. And what is the effect? The effect is negative. In the vast majority of cases, people don't like to hear being criticized, abused, to be found fault. And so when you observe that and see that you can have a big cause on people's lives, a big effect on people's lives by what you do. Yeah. And that you understand the idea of what we call karma. That if I say take a bowl or a stone and throw it into the lake, it falls into a lake of water, it will send out ripples right across that lake. And they'll reach far and wide across that lake. That's the effect of throwing that ball or that stone into the lake. So too, what we do and say has a massive effect on the people around us. So trying to say kind words, good words, truthful words, has a very good effect on everyone around us. One of the things I would say is there's the teaching of kindness and loving kindness in the Buddha's teachings. He said it has 11 effects. 11 effects. Then the first effect is, the Buddha said, is you wake up, if you go to sleep, you sleep well. Yes, you have a good night's sleep. Secondly, you wake up refreshed. Your complexion, your skin is very clear. You don't have nightmares or evil dreams. The person who has nightmares usually has negativity and frustration in their mind. Animals love one. Human beings are friendly to one because you're thinking good thoughts about them. Devas and non-human beings are friendly to one. One is not hurt or harmed through violence, through someone's trying to stab you or poison you or kill you, because you're friendly. You have loving kindness to other beings. People don't want to hurt you. Your mind becomes peaceful very quickly. If the mind that becomes peaceful, it can develop to the jhanas, the deep states of concentration, so deep states of meditation. And if one dies unconfused in those deep states of meditation. And the last thing is, if one dies in that state, one's born in the highest heaven realms, in the heavens of the Brahmaloka, because that's why it's called the divine abidings. Having kindness and compassion is a divine abiding. Now, loving kindness, metta, and compassion are two different qualities. And I'll explain them. One is, loving kindness is, metta is dwelling in goodwill to yourself and all other beings. And compassion is seeing and not wishing any other beings to have any suffering. So if you see beings that, say, are hungry, then you want them to be free of hunger. If you don't want any being to feel any pain or unhappiness. And loving kindness is to be friendly to them, to be warm to them, to help them out and care for them. Love and gratitude, they go together because gratitude is an expression of love. So if you really love somebody, then you remember. Gratitude means to be grateful, to remember all the good things they've done for you. So also they work together. When you start remembering, what, say, your mother and father have done for you, you think, oh yes, they have looked after me from the day I was born, they've fed me, nursed me, they've clothed me, sent me to school and educated me, taken care of all my needs and concerns. Then when we remember that, then it brings a sense of warmth and love and appreciation to our family, to our relatives, to our parents. And that sense of appreciation there leads to love. And also when we have love, then we tend to be grateful for the things that they've given us. So they're very closely related. A person who has no gratitude won't have very much love. And a person who doesn't have much love won't have any gratitude. But if we develop both those together, gratitude and appreciation for what our parents do, and it's easy to love them. Yes, compassion and kindness is the expression of it, isn't it? Because kindness is another word for love, really. It's very interesting. What is kind of love? And sometimes it's not a really well-defined word. So I look at all the synonyms of love. What are similar words? So it means to care. If I care for you, it means I care about your happiness. I want you to be well. I want you to be happy. I want to take care of your needs. If I am friendly to you, it means that I'm welcoming, open. I accept you for who you are. I'm not trying to change you and make you according to my likes. So that's those qualities of love has these things of caring, of kindness, of trust. Because people that we love, we trust. We'll spend time with them. We trust them to come close to us, to hold us. And that's an aspect of loving kindness. The qualities of the 10 Barometers, or 10 spiritual qualities that the Buddha talked about, are what we would talk about in English as EQ, or emotional quantum. Means to be emotionally mature and spiritually developed. And some people have very high IQ, that is, they have intellectual quantum, they have a very high intelligence, can pass exams, finish a degree, a doctorate, but they for example, are not kind, they're not truthful, they're not honest, and so because of those qualities, they cause a lot of problems in the world, or they don't. Not successful in the world. They're not successful in what they do. So this quality of what we call this EQ means that it's a quality which you can actually be very successful in life. And there's many people who, say, haven't gone to university, for example, or haven't studied in a high way, or have gone to university and studied, but also have a very high developed quality of spiritual maturity. Those people are the people that usually are very, very successful and who get ahead because they say are kind, they're patient, they're persevering, they can overcome difficulties in life, they are truthful and have honesty and integrity in their business or work, and because of those good qualities, then people are attracted to them, they have that charisma, and therefore can be successful in their life experience. So having emotional maturity is more important than intellectual skills and ability.